So as you probably know, Jamaica is going to have a general election this year. I think it could be pretty wild, and I'm not even talking about the politicians. I'm talking about social media and the green and orange political trolls that inhabit social media and the impact they could have on the campaign and who knows, maybe even the election. What do you think? I'm Dionne Jackson Miller. Thanks for joining me. It's time for tea. So when I talk about trolls now, I'm not talking about the ugly creatures you used to see on that bridge in the fairy tales waiting to attack anybody walking over the bridge. I'm talking about the ugly green and the ugly orange creatures that lurk on the social media platforms waiting to attack anybody they think is saying anything even remotely critical of their political party and their political leader. So they've been getting more and more active in recent years, right? And with the two parties now campaigning and desperate to win the election, the trolls are moving into high gear, and I want to know how they affect you. Do you find yourself not posting anything that could be seen as critical of one of the parties on social media because you don't want anybody to come after you? Let me know in the comments below, all right? And what you think if in fact that is something that you find yourself pulling back from or drawing back from, you know? Do you feel resentful? Do you feel that boy, these people are locking down your conversation? Or you're happy just to sit back and watch other people talk? Let me know, want to know. So there are 5 points I want to make about this issue, right? First point, negativity pays off online. One study from the UK showed that social media posts are twice as likely to go viral if they're negative about politicians they oppose rather than positive about politicians they support. And the researchers had looked at 2.7 million tweets and Facebook posts from US media outlets and political figures over 5 years. They also found that the negative posts were twice as likely to be commented on, so people engage more with negativity rather than with positivity. Again, want to know your feelings on that. What's your feedback? Do you find that something you've seen or something you find yourself doing as well? So the trolls now are really leaning into this kind of negativity, and I guess that helps us understand why the attacks get so vitriolic and why they come after people. Really and truly, they're not into reasoned argument or, sensible debate. They just want to say for them brand of political crap spread all over the internet. They want people sharing their posts, knocking the other party. They want those posts to go viral. That's how they get the traction. And of course, Jamaicans are out there on social media. We all know that. I think we're all out there. So this report, for instance, says Jamaica had 1.6 million social media users in January 2024. And that's about nearly 57% of the population. On Facebook, there were 920,000 users in Jamaica. Instagram had 1.1 million and TikTok 1.61 million users over the age of 18 or 18 and over. So a whole lot of Jamaicans out there on social media. So you can understand why the trolls are there, because that's where we are. 2, trolls give the political parties plausible deniability. And that's a phrase I think I fell in love with when I first saw it in the movie Independence Day. So what they were saying is that the US government, they don't know that there are aliens out there, but nobody would tell the president, because the idea is that when somebody says, Mr. President, are there aliens? The president needs to be able to say, of course not, and sound truthful because he was telling the truth as he knew it. That's plausible deniability. So it's the same way now. You see, first time, if a political party or an affiliated group or somebody did something that went over the line, you could have called up the party and say, oi, rein in your people them, and that could happen. And I can tell you that's something media houses, certainly my media house, has done in the past. If a group, or a supporter crossed the line, you would be able to say to the party, look, man, so this is not okay, do something, talk to them, right? Nowadays, though, it's another story, right? Because the trolls have taken over and a lot of them are anonymous. So if you call a political party and say, look, such and such post was really over the line, unacceptable. Nowadays, all the party going to do is do a shaggy and say, hey, it wasn't me. It's some anonymous user. We don't know who it is. We can't rein them in. Do I think they mind? Not really. I think they have these trolls out there doing their dirty work, and the parties get to benefit from whatever benefits there may be while washing their hands clean like Pontius Pilate. 3, The trolls, I think, are definitely stifling online debate. Whenever somebody expresses, says something really strong online about a political party, or they criticize something that a party has done or one of the leaders, the trolls attack. Look, and again, I hope this is clear by now. I'm not talking about sensible people saying, "Oi, that don't make no sense. You can't say that. I disagree with that." That's not what I'm talking about. Most decent people just do not want to be in an online quarrel with trolls. A lot of people I find have just stopped engaging. People say it to me all the time, they can't bother. I think it's actually a real shame, because we used to be able to have a lot of really interesting, textured, rich debates and discussions on all kinds of different things. And honestly and truly, most of that is gone. You still have a few brave people who venture out and will make a point, and then the trolls attack. And even those people, when you look at the people who still post, they have to say something like, "Boy, when you can't come for me if you don't want, my back broad, me no business with you, me I go say what me have to say." And that's because they know what's coming. So basically, all we now have is a sea of toxicity with a few brave people on islands of common sense. So, my fourth point, though, is that having said that a lot of this is anonymous, not all of it is. Not all trolls are nameless and faceless people. Some of them actually are real people and we know who they are. And there are some people who I used to think have sense, and social media has helped me to say, actually, maybe not. And I don't get it, right? How do you get so invested in a political party that you just want to show the world, say, you know, no sense, that you're incapable of sensible and reasonable discussion and argument, that you can't concede, say your side did ever do anything wrong, and that you want to show the world that you're this toxic, poisonous person that most sensible people don't want to have anything to do with. I don't get it. What you get out of that? Even if you get paid, really? Really? So my fifth point, I'm still thinking through this, and I welcome your thoughts on this as well. Let me know what you think. But, with all the attacks, all the hostility, all the toxicity, I really don't think these trolls are really changing a lot of people's minds or attracting people to whichever party they belong to. I've been looking to see if there's any local research on this issue. I haven't seen any, so if you have a link, let me know, right? I did find an admittedly small study at one college in the US where 80% of the students said online posts of trolls don't influence them because they already know who they want to vote for. And 68% say trolls don't educate them because they don't think the troll sources are credible at all, so they just ignore them. And I'd love to see a larger study, and of course studies here in Jamaica and the Caribbean, but even just looking at that, it obviously wouldn't be correct to say they have no impact and that nobody is swayed by them. I do think, as I said before, that a lot of people do back off from engaging, from, just talking online about political issues or even saying something critical about the PNP or the JLP. They just don't want to get caught up in that. They can't bother. Right? So they have managed to shut down the conversation, but I don't think that's the same thing as convincing people to vote for whoever it is they want you vote for. Because there's no logic to what is going on. There's no reason. It's just green and orange crazy going on. And I'm really hoping that people can manage to see past the vitriol, past the attacks, that there are still enough voices out there, making sensible points, arguing, doing analysis to allow people and help people to make up their own minds. Assuming people going to vote at all, which I'm going to do a different video on. And I really want to big up the people out there who are talking their truth, who are not letting the trolls get to them. You are appreciated. You are needed. You are essential. Okay, so that's what I think. Again, comment below. Want to know what you think on this issue, right? And remember, as always, like the video, share it with somebody you think might be interested, and of course, subscribe. All of that helps the channel grow. I'm Dionne Jackson Miller. Thank you so much for watching. And drink my tea.